Hello, I'm Dan from Ace RV Rentals and Sales, and today we're going to be taking a look at this RV. This is our 2021 Winnebago Solis model 59PX. Today, just like always, I'm going to be giving you the full walk around, outside, inside, so you'll be all set and prepared when renting from us. I'm going to start off by talking about the dimensions for this RV. So it's going to be about 21 feet long, about 7 feet wide, and for the height, we just like to have a set standard of 12.5 feet. So just keep 12.5 feet in mind, especially for our more inexperienced customers. Be careful when going through parking garages, drive-throughs, tunnels, that kind of stuff. I'm going to move on to the driver's side here, starting with our fuel inlet. So we're just going to open up this little panel here. So this just takes regular 87 gas, so no premium, no diesel, nothing like that. Our tank is going to be about 24 gallons. Moving along, we have our connection for the power cord. So we will supply you with all of the hoses and cords that you'll need during your rental, including our 30 amp 120 volt power cord. Most campsites will have this 30 amp service. But once you're plugged in, all of your major electrical appliances inside will work without your generator. So that'll be your AC unit on the roof here, as well as all of your power outlets in the back. Next, I'd like to talk about the dumping station, but before we get to that, we have our own little sewer hose storage here on the passenger side. So you're just going to open up this little compartment here, and this is our sewer hose, and I'll show you how to hook this up to the dumping station on the driver's side. So here we are back on the driver's side. I have our sewer hose here. I'm just going to take this end with the teeth and clip it onto this outlet here, just like that. You're going to stick the other end into your sewage at your campsite, your truck station, wherever else you're dumping. From there, the Solis is rather unique. You have, just like any RV, you have a gray tank and a black tank. So your gray tank will be for your sink and shower wastewater, and your black tank will be for the toilet. What makes the Solis unique, however, is that there are two different ways to dump the gray and the black waste tanks. For the gray waste, as you see right here, it's just this valve here. So right now, when it's pushed in like that, that means it is closed. So nothing is coming out of your sewer hose right now. Once I open this up, just pull it out to the fullest extent. Gravity will just have all the waste come out of the gray waste into your sewage. So there is a leveling system on the inside of the RV that'll tell you how full or empty your gray waste tank is. So once it's empty, you just push it back in to close it, unscrew your hose, and you're all set to go for your gray waste tank. Now for the black waste tank, we have what we call a cassette tank for the toilet. So the toilet is actually right over here, and the waste will dump into this little cassette. So all you want to do is just push on these two buttons here, and then this will allow you to open up this door here. And then this is our black waste tank. So you can actually just pull it out. You see this little blue latch here. I'm going to pull up on that, and that'll allow us to roll it out like this. So all of your toilet water is going to be in here. So this is completely removable. You just want to pull it out, and you can just turn this little outlet here, unscrew it, and just pour it down your waste. Once it's done, you just push it back in until it clicks, and then that is how you dump out your black waste. So that covers up the driver's side portion. So we're going to head over to the back here. We're going to open up the right door first, and then the left door here. There's a little latch right here. So here is the back of our RV. We have quick access to these storage compartments over here. We've got a fly screen, as you can see over here. You can just unravel it and zip it down like that if you plan to keep the back open. Over here we have our water panel for the water system. Now it looks very complicated, but after just using it a couple of times, it's very intuitive. You will have all these different settings here. There's this little diagram that'll show you how to set the different settings for the water. Just by turning these four dials. So you have these different options. All you have to worry about for your rental is dry camping, power filled tank, and city water. So these three. So dry camping is sort of like your default normal setting. So this is what you want your knobs to be set to, which it is right now. If you take a look at this diagram, this is sort of like what you want to be set to when you're not doing anything related to the water. You just want to draw the water from your tank when you're on the road. Power fill tank is to fill up your water tank. So if your water is running on empty, you're at a campsite, you're about to leave it, you want to fill up your water for the road before you leave, you're just going to set it to this setting. So that is just turning this green dial to the left just like that, and then the blue one down like this. So now all you want to do is hook up to this little outlet over here with the hose that we will supply you, and then this will be to fill up your water tank. Thirdly, we have our city water. So this is your fixtures. So when you're at a campsite, you want to use their pump and their water instead of your own. So instead of filling up your tank, this will bypass your tank and this will go straight into your pipes. So you're going to have it, the white, green, red will be up, and then blue will be to the side like this. So you're going to hook up the same hose to the same inlet, but this will serve a different purpose now that our dials are set differently. So once you're done with that, I recommend once you go to a campsite, of course, hook it up to city fixtures. Before you leave, fill up the tank, and then when you're on the road, set it back to dry camping. Apart from that, we just have a little faucet here, sort of like to wash off dirt or sand before you head inside. I'll show you where you can find that hose. You just hook it up in here, and you can turn on the water pump right over here. Underneath these trapdoors is where we've placed all of the hoses and cords that you'll need for your rental. It also serves as a little bit of extra storage space, of course. On the right side here, we have our power cord. So this will be our 30 amp 120 volt power cord that you will use when you're plugged into your campsite. So you'll see 30 amp will have these 3 prongs just like this. So this will be the end that you plug into your post at your campsite, and this will be what you hook up to the RV itself. Over in this bag is where we've placed the rest of the things. So this is your blue spiral hose. This is what you're going to hook up to that little faucet that I showed you earlier for your just to wash down dirt or sand. You have a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter you can put onto the end of your power cord like this. So this is in the event that you don't have 30 amp wherever you are. You can hook up to 50 amp instead, but be aware the AC unit on the roof right here, this will not work on 15 amp. It'll be too powerful for 15. And then lastly, we also have our water hose. So this will be the one that you hook up to that water panel for your, what says city water. You're going to use this to fill up your tank or connect to city water fixtures. You're just going to use this hose. So that covers up the back. We're going to go over to the passenger side, which will be very quick. We basically just have our propane tank next to that sewer hose compartment that I showed you earlier. The propane tank, you can just leave on over here. It'll be about 25 pounds the size of the tank. Propane, it will be for things like your water heater, as well as your refrigerator when you're not plugged into your electric, your shore power at your campsite. So as I said, you can basically leave it on unless there's some kind of sign when you're going through a tunnel or something like that where it says to have your propane off. But in case you do need to refill this, truck stations and campsites, they'll do that for you. There's a gauge inside, like for the gray water, they'll tell you how full to empty your propane. That wraps up the outside portion of this walkthrough, so we're going to head inside here. We're just going to pull on the sliding door just like a van. Starting down the entrance over here, we have our fire extinguisher, of course, for safety purposes. This RV is also equipped with a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector on the inside. And then you see we also have another faucet down here that you can connect that blue spiral hose to. So in addition to the back, you have one on the driver's side, or the passenger side over here. Also at the entrance, we have all of these parts right above the fridge here. So we have some regular USB ports here. We have a cigarette lighter over here. We have lights, so this will be the inside galley lights right at the entrance. And then we also have a porch light right over here by my right hand. We have a switch here for the house battery, which is called the coach battery on this switch. So we can turn on the house battery on and off over here. The house battery will be underneath the chassis, and it will be for just regular 12 volt, very minor electrical things like the lights or the water pump. So you can leave this on. It'll be charged in a bunch of different ways, including when you're plugged into shore power, when your generator's on, when your engine's on. So it won't die on you at all unless you plan on walking away from your RV for several days at a time. We've got a little fridge over here at the entrance as well. So as I said, when you're not plugged in, like we are right now, this fridge will be running off of your propane. But once you switch over to shore power, when you plug into your 30 amp electrical cord, it will automatically switch over to electricity. So no matter what, your fridge will stay on, everything will be kept cool. We have a little freezer shelf over here, in addition to the fridge space beneath that. Now over by my head is the most important part of the inside of our RV. We have sort of a little control area. So we have a bunch of things over here. I'll just walk through each of them one by one. Starting with our solar panel, you won't have to worry about this. This just means our house battery and will be charged with some solar panels on the roof of the RV, but there's nothing you as a customer would have to worry about over here. We have our LP valve over here. this just means it's just the second switch for turning on your propane. So LP will be our propane tank on the outside. So make sure that switch is on, and then this switch is on as well for your propane to work. So if your stove isn't working, for example, make sure this is on. We have a switch here for the tank heaters. So this will heat up your waste tanks if you're going to a place where it's below freezing. So if you know that, turn this on in advance. It'll use a bit of your propane to heat up your waste tanks. Next up, you have a little panel over here for our furnace and water heater. So in order to use this, I'm just going to push down on this little dial here. It's a button as well as a dial. So now we have this little flashing icon here. This is our furnace, and when whatever is flashing, that's what's being currently selected with this dial. So if I turn it to the right once, you can see that now the next icon, which is our water heater, is selected. So you can just turn left and right to select different things, but you would only have to worry about these two right here. So starting off with our furnace, which is the one on the left, I'm going to click on it to select. You can see that our furnace is off right now. I can just turn the dial to the right to adjust the temperature. So our furnace will be running on a bit of our house battery and a bit of our furnace, on our propane. So I just push down to select it. You can see this little fire icon is on. That means that our furnace is now working. To turn it off, I'm just going to select this little icon again. And I can just turn the dial left back to off. Just like the furnace, the water heater will work similarly. So I'm just going to select it again, turn one to the right to hit the water heater, select that. You can see that's off right now, and we have different levels of heating up the water, I suppose. So we have Eco, which is not going to heat up that much. Hot will heat it up to sort of a medium temperature, and then Boost will be the hottest temperature. I can just hit it back to hot. I'll press it. You can see up here, you can see the water heater is now active. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes to heat up your water. So if you want to take a hot shower, for example, just plan that much in advance. And just like the furnace, if you want to turn it off, just go over, select it, turn it back to off, select it like that, and we're all good to go. And finally, we have our main control panel. So this will tell us a bunch of different things. Starting off with the levels of our tanks here, we can see LPG again is our propane. So as I push down on each of these buttons, they will light up from empty to full to show us how full these tanks are. So LPG, I'm going to push that down. You can see our propane is about 2/3 full. Our battery is our house battery. You can see that that is fully charged. And then our gray waste tank, that's our sink and shower wastewater, you can see that that is empty. For the black waste, there's going to be a separate sensor behind the toilet, and I'll show you that. Next up here, we have our water pump. So this will be the switch to draw water from our own tank. So if you remember the water system, when you have it set to that default option and you want to pull water from your tank on the road, you're just going to switch this little switch on, and then you'll see this little light that says pump on. This will turn on, and now you can draw water from your tank. Make sure you have this off, however, if you're using the city fixtures option on that water system. In other words, you want to draw water from the campsite's water, from their pump, not from your own. So if you're connected to city water and you have this on, you're still going to be drawing water from your own tank. So make sure you have this off when you're at your campsite. And lastly, we have our generator over here. So starting off with this little odometer, this will tell us the total number of hours that the generator has been running ever since it was manufactured. So you can see right now it says 198.0. This number will only go up. So you can keep track of how many hours you're using this way. We recommend you have the generator on for no more than 3 hours at a time, and then have it off for about 2 to 3 hours. The generator is your substitute for when you're not plugged into your electrical service. So it'll also be powering your AC unit on the roof, all your outlets in the back, but it'll be drawing from your gasoline tank, and it'll use about 1 gallon an hour. You should also note that if you're below a 1/4 tank of gas, sometimes the generator might turn on, but nothing will be powered. So that's all of your troubleshooting go to if your generator's on, but nothing is being powered. We have our switch here to actually start and stop the generator. So I'm going to actually hold down stop first to prime it. I'm going to hold this down for a few seconds. And then after a few seconds have passed, I'm just going to hold down start. You'll hear it start up. So now the generator is on. We can hear that rumbling. This number will start to go up now, and I can show you some things that will work on the generator, mostly the AC. With our generator on, I can show you our roof AC, which will be purely powered with the 120 volts, so either when you're plugged in or when your generator is running. It's a very simple operation. This little dial will adjust the temperature, so red will be hot, of course, blue will be cold. The little arrow is pointing this way, and the other arrow will be pointing this way. So right now you can see it says off. I can turn it to low fan, for example. The fan will be just the fan, not the compressor with the AC, but cool will be the AC. So right now it's set to low cool, high cool, this is our AC, and back to off. To turn off your generator, all you have to do is hold down stop for a few seconds until you hear the generator fully stop. I'm going to continue into the back of the RV here with our little bed area. We have a little table that can come down here. All I did was just unlatch it from here. The leg will come out and you're just going to shift it into this little placeholder on the ground here. You just pull it back out and then bring it back up. As we've seen, we have some storage up and around on both sides. You just want to pull this out like that. You have it on this side as well, below especially, on both sides. And then we also have our combined fuse box and circuit breaker box over here. We'll supply you with some extra fuses just in case anything happens, but you know that we have our circuits and fuses over here. This place will also turn into a bed. We just have a latch for the bed here. I'm just going to loosen this up, and this whole part will come down just like so. It'll rest on the other side. Just be real careful with it. And then all of these cushions will be laid across. Just upside down here. And here is our bed. To open up the window, we just have this little latch here. You're gonna flick this out, this will unlock it, and then you just pull on it to slide it open. We also have our screen that we can open as well. And just push it back in like this to lock it. Our kitchen is pretty much straightforward. We went over the fridge already. We just have a standard sink over here. Make sure your water pump is on or you're plugged into your city fixtures. Below here we have our water tank level, so we're just going to switch this on. This is pretty cool. You're going to flick this on, and then you can see how full your water tank is over here. So you can see, I believe the level is right over here, so we're about half full for the water. We have this eco-hot sort of system for the Winnebago Solis. It's unique to this. We have this little knob. It'll switch from normal to preheat. All this does is it basically, when you have your water heater on, as I showed you before, when you're ready to turn on your water, this will cycle all the cold water in the pipes back to the water tank. So all you have to do is just set it to preheat for about 10 seconds or so. Just count to 10. Once you're done, you'll hear the water pump go through. Set it back to normal, and then that will pull all of the cold water that was sitting in the pipes out, and you will have hot water ready to go to all of your faucets. Apart from that, we have our regular stove. This will be running on our propane gas. We just have two burners over here. You just take this little knob, set it to the flame option. You can hear the propane come out, and then just light it like this. Below that, we just have some extra counter space or table space if you needed it. Once you're done with the stove, I'd say wait about 5 minutes before you put the glass top back on. Otherwise, the propane might get trapped in there and the glass might shatter. This here by my left is our bathroom. So it's a wet bath. We have a lock right here at the top. And then this is a very strong magnet so the door doesn't open when you're driving. But don't worry, just give it a little tug. And here is our bathroom. Outer bottom here is our toilet. We have this blue button here, which is a flush. And then if you look behind the toilet, you'll see a little sensor. Right now it should be green. That means that your black tank is empty. Once it goes up to half full, it'll switch between half green, half red. And then once your tank is full, it will be fully red. In this little pouch here, we have our shower curtain. You're going to connect this to these little buttons you see along the top here. These little bottles are solution for the toilet, so in case the smell ever comes up from the black tank, you can pour this down there just to freshen it up.
I'd say about a third of a bottle whenever the smell comes up. As for the toilet paper, we have a little compartment over here. Be aware that toilet paper is RV specific. So you want to go to the camping section at Walmart, or campsites will also sell the sort of RV marine dissolvable toilet paper. So we have 4 seat belts in this Solis, and we have 2 passenger seats in the back here. You'll see this little lever here. You can pull this out, and you can pull up these seats here, and you just have a little bit of extra storage space underneath. In this little overhead compartment, we have all of our privacy curtains for the windshield, side windows, and then we have our ladder here, which will help us reach the top bunk here, which I'll show you how to open up right away. To unlock the top bunk, first you're going to go over here. You're going to pull this out, and you can twist it to unlock it, just like that. And then we can unbuckle this part here. So we're all set for this side. Just do the same thing to the other side. Here we go, and now our top bunk is released, and we are now free to push it up. I'm just pushing this upward. It'll come up pretty easily, and then we have our top bunk over here. During your rental, we'll provide you with this little envelope of a bunch of useful information. Starting with our QR code, this is an online guide, sort of FAQ. This will answer most questions you have about rentals. We also have our 24/7 roadside assistance number via CoachNet. You can call this number during your rental for any questions or concerns, troubleshooting, or say you have a flat tire, they can send a mechanic out to help you out there. And then we also have some extra fuses I was talking about earlier for your fuse box. And we also have our registration in here. So here we are in the front of the RV, which functions pretty much just like a truck. We have our AC system up in the front here. We have our front display. So we have a radio, of course. We have our rear view camera. So if I put the RV in reverse, you'll see that pop up over there. And if you wanted, you can also connect your phone via Bluetooth to this display here. The parking brake is by my hand over here, so you just have to push this little button in here, pull it up, that'll engage it. To release it, push the button again, bring it back down fully.
That will be all for our walkthrough of the 2021 Winnebago Solis model 59PX. I'm Dan from RV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.